Hey guys, welcome to Craft Challenges. If you're here, that means that you wanted to learn how to make the foosball shoebox. If that's what you want, then keep watching. But here are some of the things that you're going to need for this project. You can always substitute things for whatever you have around your house. The first thing you'll need though is some kind of paper. I happen to have this green one, so that's just what I'm going to use. You'll also need something that is about the size of a shoebox. I had an actual shoebox, and here's mine. I'm going to use some straws for the foosball player holders. You could also use chopsticks or skewers, whatever you have that's kind of that shape. You're going to need something to make a handle. I decided to use toothpicks. You're going to need clothespins for the foosball players. Some kind of ball. I happen to find this large marble, so that's what I am planning to use. You could also use a bouncy ball. Scissors will be helpful for this project. Some kind of coloring agent. You could use paint or markers or colored pencils, whatever you have. I suggest using some tape for one part, and then you're also going to need some glue. Okay, let's get started. So first you're going to take your shoebox and you'll have to make a couple modifications. I needed to cut the top off my box, but you're also going to need to cut in two holes, one at both ends for the goals for your foosball. Once you've cut the holes in the box, then you're going to need to lay out where you want your foosball people to be. I used a ruler just so I kind of knew that they were about even. I realized that I didn't show that really well in here, and I'm sorry, but I used 6. If your box is smaller, you might only want to use 4 or 5, but whatever you think works best for your box is what you're going to do. The reason that you're going to want to put your straws on top first is because you want to make sure that they're evenly spaced, because this is going to be what you're putting your players on. As you do that, you're going to want to be marking the sides of the box on both sides. I did this by setting the ruler against the box and making sure they were about even with the lines that I was putting with the straws and where I had them placed. Whatever works for you is what you're going to do. After you make the lines though, you're going to need to make holes in the spots that you want them. At this point, this is what you should have in your project. Some holes on both sides of your boxes and then a larger hole for the goal. Next, you're going to take out your paper. Really what you need to do is just trace the box to get a piece of paper that will fit inside the box on the bottom for your playing field. I suggest lining your box up with one edge of the paper because I find that always works easiest, because then you only need to draw 2 lines and you only need to cut 2 lines. After you've glued your paper in, this is what your current project will look like, and next you'll be decorating the field for your foosball players. This is what I did. Once you've decorated your field, then you'll be putting the stands or the sticks for your players, and this is how I did it. You just start at one end, you push it through to get to the other, and mine looked like this. is an optional part. I decided I wanted handles on mine, so I used some duct tape just about the width of 3 fingers, which would be about the size of a toothpick. I folded it over and then I made it so that you could fold it a little extra because I had some sticky left on top. And then you do that for 3 on each side. Make sure they're opposites though. Once you finish that, you're going to notice that you still have some ends that don't have tape on them. So you could also tape those over if you're concerned about them falling out or anything. You can figure out however you want to tape them. I show 2 different ways here, but whichever works for you is what you can do. Then if you're like me and you use toothpicks for the handles, you'll notice they kind of overlap. So then you're going to want to very carefully cut the ends off. If you don't trust yourself, you can always ask one of your parents or your siblings to help you with this. Just make sure you're careful. So then once you've completed that, you should have the base part of your foosball table done. If you want to decorate the sides, you can, but that is a choice that you can make. Up next, we're going to be making the players. Mine are going to be very simple. For my foosball players, I took 2 different colored markers. One was team red, one was team blue, and then I took 10 clothespins and I split them into groups of 5 so that I would have 5 teams or 5 players on the red team and 5 players on the blue team, and then I just colored them. And then once you have them colored, you're just going to need to put your players onto your foosball table, just like this, or this is how I set mine up. And then once that's done, you can just start playing foosball. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for coming.